Welcome back, folks. Craig Bushon Show, live from the portable studios of the Craig Bushon Show at Be First in Media. And very excited about being on today because it's our first real live broadcast using our new equipment, using our mobile studio. Like I mentioned before we went to the break out of hour one, we'll be at the Operation Chili Challenge coming up on November 3rd, taking the show on the road, and that's at Quartz Furniture in Austin, Texas. We will be posting up on our calendar at befirstinmedia.com, and you can always follow what's going on with us there. But hey, you know, like I was talking about, Fortune magazine says the death of cash. Now, there's no question mark there. So is it a statement? And what's weird is that they're showing it an Apple phone, you know, an iPhone, shredding it. Interesting. But before we get to that, the $100 bill does have some problems right now because a large amount of the new $100 bills were stolen in Philly. The FBI is reporting an unusual heist of some newly designed $100 bills that aren't going into circulation until next year. Agent Frank Burton Jr. says the cash was stolen from a plane that arrived at Philadelphia International Airport around 10:25 a.m. That was on Thursday, right from Dallas. So investigators said these Benjamins are easy to spot. The new bills have sophisticated elements to thwart counterfeiters, like a disappearing Liberty Bell and an orange link well and a bright blue security ribbon. A disappearing Liberty Bell. Interesting. I wonder if there's like a double meaning there. I think I'm thinking too much into it. Disappearing Liberty Bell. That doesn't mean anything. The FBI said a large amount of bills were stolen, but agents aren't giving specifics. The theft was reported by courier service transporting the C notes when the shipment arrived Thursday afternoon at the Federal Reserve Building in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Officials then discovered some of the money was missing. Interesting. You may want to check Obamacare. Oh, I'm sorry. But the bottom line is, folks, yeah, money, there's a problem going right now with our money. Money has a big, big issue, not just globally, right back here in the United States. What's it worth? What's the dollar worth? You know, the death of cash. I mean, is it? I mean, you go through, you look at the different covers of magazines. Here's the other one, Fortune. I always like to look at them because they've got great art. Is it still okay to be rich in America? I don't know. It says, is this political season? The rich are an easy punching bag. Instead of taking them down, shouldn't we figure out how to lift everybody up? Well, we put a post up on, I think I actually have it on one of my Facebook pages. And it talks about, why don't you try to be the 1%? You know, money, wealth, the dollar bill, the value of it is really what we put on it, right? I mean, it used to be a gold standard. It used to be you'd go by the gold standard, and whatever gold was, how much gold we had, it was based against that. Some are pushing to go back to the gold standard, and if it does, I would definitely invest. If we did, I would definitely invest in gold because it'll skyrocket. Not that it already hasn't, but it could go up a lot more. At least that's the speculation out there. But, you know, the value of the dollar bill, you know, Fortune magazine, what are they really saying? They're really saying the challenges that we face within the monetary system is just that, how we face those challenges. How much money is worth in Greece, I have no idea. I don't care. Maybe I should care. This global economy, I think, confuses things. You know, what's our dollar worth? Well, compared to the yen, right? Compared to other parts of the world, you know, we definitely need to define ourselves in the monetary system. But for ourselves, what is it worth? At $3.60 a gallon for gas, it's worth a whole lot less. So technically, if gas would say it was $1.78 a gallon when Obama, Mr. President Obama, came into office, and now it's, let's say, an average of $3.50 a gallon, okay, it's doubled. So when you go to buy gas, you know what your dollar's worth? 50% less. It should say that. It should say your dollar's worth 50% less and go down the list. Well, the easy one's gas. If I took the same dollar and I buy gas today versus buying it in 2008, I get half the gas. So my money's worth half as much. See, why don't we talk about things, explain things in a way that makes sense to the regular folks? You know, Gabe, can you pull up some of the things that I know some of the people out there were calling him the laughing hyena, okay? And, Vice President Joe Biden, the guy's been around a long time. I mean, 39 years? That's a little long. That's like too long, 39 years. But let's bring up, I want to hear him. I want to hear a little bit of the snippets, Gabe, about what happened, and I want to answer. I want to hear what he says, or maybe the answer, one of the questions, when let the folks who are watching see the answers, and then I'm going to chime in. I'm going to give you my opinion as if I was sitting there and I was running for president. So tell me when we got that loaded up, and we'll get that on there. Because, folks, the bottom line is I get frustrated. I was throwing stuff at the screen in my mind, because I'm not stupid, because I love my plasma screen. Though it does take power. I mean, it's 58 inches of love. And I mean, you can spin that any way you want. But the bottom line is I was extremely frustrated watching the debates the other night. The vice presidential debate was something that it's like I wanted to get inside Paul Ryan, who I think did a nice job. He was polite. I think he acted very vice presidential. I think he seemed classier, no doubt about it. But there's some things that, he should have said. And that's why I want to pull up and I want to say, here's what I would have said. And we ready to go on that, Gabe? Let's see here. We got one. Let's just play this right here. And can we show it to the folks who are watching live right now? I want to make sure that. There we have it right here. Very good.
Rather somber note. 1 month ago tonight, on the anniversary of 9/11, Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other brave Americans were killed in a terrorist attack in Benghazi. The State Department has now made clear there were no protesters there. It was a pre-planned assault by heavily armed men. Wasn't this a massive intelligence failure, Vice President Biden?
What it was a tragedy, Martha. Did you want to hear the rest of this?
Yeah, just let it go.
Gentlemen, it really...
We had a small little snippet there, issue. So let's go ahead and... want to hear the whole thing?
I do. I want to hear that from the beginning. We're getting it going. I want to hear. Then I'll give my... Turn that volume down too right there. Man.
Wasn't this a massive intelligence failure, Vice President Biden?
What it was a tragedy, Martha. Chris Stevens was one of our best. We lost 3 other brave Americans. And I can make absolutely 2 commitments to you and all the American people tonight. One, we will find and bring to justice the men who did this. And secondly, we will get to the bottom of it, and wherever the facts lead us, wherever they lead us, we will make clear to the American public, because whatever mistakes are made will not be made again. When you're looking at a president, Martha, it seems to me that you should take a look at his most important responsibility. That's caring for the national security of the country. And the best way to do that is take a look at how he's handled the issues of the day. On Iraq, the president said he would end the war. Governor Romney said that was a tragic mistake. We should have left 30,000. He ended it. Governor Romney said that was a tragic mistake. We should have left 30,000 troops there. With regard to Afghanistan, he said he will end the war in 2014. Governor Romney said we should not set a date, number one, and number two,
okay.
with regard to 2014,
just pause
it depends.
There. Just pause.
When it came to...
Folks, there we have it. There's an answer. You heard it. I can't sit there for listen to the entire 2 minutes of him saying that the president has done everything that he can to make sure that we're going to find the people who killed 4 Americans in the attack. You know, Benghazi is a place that is violent for a long, long time. And here's how I would answer him back. I would say, Mr. Vice President, how is it that we can read the date on a dime from outer space and you say that we're going to track down the people to the ends of the earth who did this? And we have all of this sophisticated technology to track people down on defense. Now we're on defense, okay? Now wait, something happened. Now we got to someone's pushing on us. We got to push back. How is it that we could get no assistance for hours and hours and hours to the people who needed it the most? There were 4 people in a compound that's supposed to have high security, especially on September 11th. And instead, what did we get? We had a breach, and we had lies told to us that had to do with a 14-minute ridiculous video that was made, which had nothing to do with that. But how is it we can't turn on all these sophisticated satellites and look at things in real time? Heck, should we partner with Google Earth and let them do it for us? And say, yep, there's nobody out there. See, I suspect we did know. The problem is, why aren't we doing things about it? Why aren't we fixing things in real time? How come we didn't push back? How come it's kind of scary that we can't get to a place that's just a few hundred miles away from where we have tactical teams to get in and rescue 4 Americans before, they fought them off. 2 Navy SEALs fought them off for hours. And we couldn't get there in time? How is that, Mr. President? If we're so sophisticated and doing such a good job in protecting Americans, how is it that we don't use the technology that we have? I mean, the bottom line is there's more going on than what we know about. There's more things, for sure, that are affecting us in the Middle East than what we're being told. I still go back to, the President of the United States when he leaned over to the representative from Russia and said, just wait. Just wait till I get reelected. And then, I'm in the middle of an election and just wait and then I can help you out. Why is it that we're not doing the obvious things, folks? Why is it that you and I can sit back and go, well, wait a minute. We've got the technology. We have the manpower, the people power. We have the military. How come we're not doing the things that are obvious? And I got to throw this out there too, folks. I got to throw out there, here's what really frustrates me also. How come nobody pushes back? Push back on the vice president and the president and Mitt Romney when on Tuesday. He needs to push back when everyone's talking about, it was Clinton that balanced the budget. The Democrats, they balanced the budget. They had a surplus. Really? Let's really go back in time. See, part of the strategy right now is to get people, it's like trying to herd cats. Part of the strategy that some of our leadership uses to keep everybody discombobulated is to keep you focusing in all the bright, shiny objects that are in the room. You can't ever see beyond the veil. You're always blinded by what's going on, whether you're having to survive or dealing with running guns over the border. That is a problem, yes, but it isn't the problem. Why did the towers fall? How come we don't have that conversation? Like it's just, it's just something that happened in the past. Something as big as December 7th, 1941. As far as an impact, the last time a major impact happened on this country. How come we don't go back? Because when I hear about, that Bill Clinton, Obama might as well go, I'm going to screw you too. And that's why Bill Clinton goes out there and says, I swear, my wife my wife, yes, she's a beautiful, wonderful woman, and she, I was sleeping around on her, and yeah, but don't listen to those things. Don't listen to all that stuff. Listen to just me doing this to you. God, I love you, and I'm going to screw you. And I got my little puppet over there, friend. His name's Mr. President Obama. He's going to screw you too. Now, what do I mean by that? Look what happened. We're dealing with the problems we have right now, a lot of the major economic problems we have right now. When I hear this president and the vice president say we're going to cut down on the military, we're going to cut back on the military, we're going to, Paul Ryan, great to him, great for him. I don't know if we can pull up a clip if you can find that, Gabe, where they talk about in the interview, I don't know if you can find it on there, or in the debate, where they talk about defunding the military, spending money in the military. We'll see if we can pull that up. But here's the bottom line, folks. Balancing the budget in 1990s happened in a large part on the back of our military, on the back of our defense, on the back of our intelligence, on the back of the thing that is supposed to be the number one thing. The biggest spending thing we have within the government is national defense and our military. Well, what is the number one thing that the government constitutionally can do over everything? Their number one job is to keep Americans safe and to keep us a sovereign nation. That's the big ones. Everything else kind of trails way behind on that. Those are the big ones. Keep us safe. Keep us a sovereign nation. Not doing a very good job. The government as a whole, as of late, hasn't done a very good job. Bottom line is, it should be one of the largest things budget spent with our government because it's the number one thing that keeps us, free. Here's what needs to be said. The towers fell because of lack of intelligence in real time. Departments didn't speak with each other. That didn't help. But defunding a military where you had soldiers stripping Humvees, new ones, to keep old ones on the road, cutting money way back. Yeah, does it cost money? Of course it costs money to defend ourselves. Is there maybe some places to cut that are waste? Yeah, I think you shouldn't pay $300 for a wrench. Yeah. But the money that we saved affected our intelligence. That didn't allow us to abate the towers falling. Okay? A plane hitting the ground in Pennsylvania. That's probably going to go to the White House. The Pentagon. It didn't stop that. You ever heard the saying, throwing good money after bad? Well, you also can not put money into good, and then the bad happens. My opinion is, one of the big reasons those towers fell at the beginning, listen, if it's good enough for this president to say, listen, I inherited a big problem, I inherited a big issue, I need another 4 years. Well, the attack that we had that Bush, see, if you blame it all on Bush 43, if that is Obama's doing, the towers fell because of Clinton. And we can't let that go. We have to go back to that fight. We have to go back to, you don't balance the budget on the back of the military and the back of our intelligence. You do it by growing an economy. You do it by making people who suck on the system stop sucking on the system. You do it by, listen, we have a lot of illegal aliens here that are coming here, and I'd come here too. Make no mistake about it. If I was living in Mexico and I saw jobs in America and I saw a whole bunch of people that weren't going to do it, I'd go. I'd have a backpack and a ladder, whatever. Part of a human element is to want to be better. Okay? And listen, the big issue that we have in this country is you want to help balance the budget. How about all these unfunded mandates, and how about all the welfare programs that we have where we need to evaluate every single person that's on welfare? See, I hear the argument, well, Americans don't want to do the job. Well, hell no, they don't want to do the job. Why would I want to do the job? Why would I want to do a job that I can make more money not going to work? I can make more money on the system. I can make more money staying at home. I can make more money having kids. I can make more money just doing nothing. Doing nothing. The real argument is, folks, it isn't the military. The military, yeah, there's maybe some little things here and there that need to be tweaked. But if I want anything, and if I want to put my tax dollars towards something, my biggest thing I want to put it towards is the defense of this country. Because let me tell you something, to get out of this mix, we're going to have to be a lot wealthier country. For us to fix our economy and to have dollars worth more money and that the cash doesn't die, and it, is to not make it a sin to be rich. Every person in this country, all of you, need to believe in capitalism. Believe in the laws of capitalism. Believe in what it takes to be a winner, and that is following rules A. And the irony is, the laws of capitalism, companies who are hiring people, who are fighting E-Verify, who want to have illegal aliens here doing work because we have a bunch of people who don't want to do the work because they're getting paid too much money to not do the work, and the government, some levels of government want it that way because they want you to not vote for them. They want to make sure that you have to rely on them for as many waking moments of your life as they can. They want to make sure that they keep you on a leash. Vice President Biden, when he said they want to put you back in chains, what's he talking about? They want to put you back in chains. You know what he said that? I forget where he was speaking that at. It was some union thing. And they want to put, those Republicans want to put you back in chains. Are you kidding me? Let's just go back to the Civil War. Let's just go back to what happened in the Civil War in the mid-1800s. Let's just go back to who put the chains on who. And who freed who. And what direction were the slaves running to? I think they were running north. Why were they running north? Because that's where the people who wanted to free them were. The ones south didn't want that. We have to study history to make sure that we understand where we're going. Talk about what happened in the 90s. Talk about that. Don't let Clinton off the hook. We're paying all this debt and all these trillions of dollars that we're throwing at fighting battles is because of the money we didn't spend in the 90s to make sure that we suppressed what was coming. It's called proactive. A successful progressive would want to stop things before they happen. But it's strange. I'd also go back to, folks, we no longer have a War Department. We have a Defense Department. Okay? We haven't won a war since we've had a War Department. See, defense means that there has to be an offense working against you. The only time you need a defense is when somebody's doing something to you or have the threat of it happening to you. It's a defense. I'm on defense. Sometimes a very, very good offense. General Patton was really good at that, He'd read their book, and then he'd push on them, and then he wanted to go into Moscow. Remember that? He wanted to go into Russia. He said those communists are going to be coming after us forever. And they are. Look who's funding Iran right now. Look who's funding the Middle East. Look where the money comes in from. It comes from communism. There's another push, folks. There's another push to make you a pacifist. To make you a pacifist. See, to turn the other cheek, the Christian saying, does not mean to not fight back. There are reasons that some angels have swords. The bottom line is, folks, We have to look at all the things that have painted this picture that we are now living inside. It's like a Norman Rockwell still picture, you know. Like we're stuck in a land of the free. We're stuck. Let's talk about the truth, Mr. Joe Biden, Mr. President Obama. Let's talk about what's really happened in the history of this country. Let's talk about who fought the Civil War, what president stood up there. Who was he? What was the initial behind his name? Was he a Democrat or was he a Republican? What was he? Our founders, the majority of them, did not like the idea of slavery, and they worked very, very hard to get rid of slavery. And as a matter of fact, in the 1800s, we fought a civil war. And here's another interesting thing. Could we fight a modern civil war? Because if you take the same statistics, you know, talking about pacifism, do you realize that in the Civil War, we lost more soldiers, American blood on American land, brother on brother, mother on mother, a mother on sister, the whole 9 yards. Everybody fighting everybody. Talk about an interracial battle. It was interconnected in the United States of America. We're fighting each other for an idea. One of the big ones was who owns who and who owns what. Who owns the slave? Should anybody? Who stood up? I can't believe how history gets rewritten right in front of our eyes. Why don't we teach this? Well, I guess we are. To take this snippet and cut it out and play it in schools. You're being lied to. If you believe that the Republicans are against the minorities, is insanity. That's why when I look at the screen and I look at what's going on, and I hear and I watch vice presidential debate, that I just get very frustrated because no one's talking about what really is going on. What's really going on? The corruption, the thievery, the stealing of words, rewriting history. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, there is no perfection on either side. But I refuse to rewrite history. Let it fall where it may. And I refuse to look at to any longer look at the mainstream media and have them not push back. I refuse to take a look at what's going on right now in the world and not push back. I mean, here in the great state of Texas, they talk about succession, right? We could leave the United States. Well, you technically could. Geographically, you couldn't. I mean, it'd be a hell of a war. Pacifism, though, folks. There are no free pacifists. Do you know that in the Civil War, roughly 2.5% of every single American died? Almost 2.5% of the 31 million people that were alive in the mid-1800s in this country died. And they died killing each other. They died for freedom. They died for an ideal. One wanted, in the big fight, it's not the only fight that it was about, but the big part was slavery. And the people were Republicans. And they were also business owners. And they saw the future a different way. They saw it a freer way for all people, just like the Constitution says. Okay? It takes time, though. But don't forget, it was the Republicans who did that. Now, let's make no mistake, there's some pathetic Republicans. Pathetic. We've been infiltrated by morons. Some of them are just, it's so unbelievable. They're like turncoats. They're Benedict Arnolds. That's what they are. I was at an event one time, right here in the great state of Texas, in Central Texas, for the Travis County Republican Party. And I love their gala events, and I love the Ronald Reagan gala event. In the last 2 years, I've emceed it. And I stood in a room. And I spoke, and Congressman Michael McCall was there, and I believe he was getting an award that year, and he was speaking, and there was many other people there, and I was emceeing the event. And we're in this room, and it's at this game ranch, and we're in this game ranch, and it's got all these, dead things in it. A lovely room of death, to quote a great movie. So I'm in a room of Republicans, very powerful people. Let's make no mistake about it. Congressman Michael McCall is the wealthiest member of Congress in the United States of America. A lot of money in politics. Not saying that he's doing it for the money. He doesn't need the money. But I said, look around, folks. Look around. Remember, I'm in a room of Republicans. I said, look around, folks. I want you to look around the room. I want you to find the rhino. And for those of you that don't know what rhino means, it means Republican in name only. The Republic, the free republic. It doesn't say the free Democrat, the free democracy. It says the free republic. See, words mean something, folks. And I said to the folks in the room, and there's a few hundred in the room, and I said, look around, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to look around, and I want you to find the rhino in the room. I want you to find the rhino in the room. It's somewhere. Look across the table. Look around. Look up. Look everywhere. Look under the table. We must find the rhino among us. And I got to tell you, some of the looks on the faces were kind of, whoa. Because I suspect some were in there. And I said, there it is. There it is. It's a big rhino head on the wall. It's because it's a game ranch. And there was laughter. Oh, but make no mistake, there was also relief. The bottom line is, folks, even those of us in our own parties, we must police our own parties. We must look around. We have been infiltrated at many, many different levels. Mainstream media is allowing history to be rewritten. The school systems are allowing history to be rewritten. Politicians are on stage rewriting history in real time. A growing number of you folks out there are getting disengaged. And I hear the statement, well, screw it. It doesn't matter who I vote for, so I just won't vote at all because they're all crooks. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what they want. They want you to quit. They want you to give up. Make no mistake, a king wants peasants who just get in line. And slowly the walls get built. And slowly the world of have and have-nots, well, some of them will turn on each other. And the greatest push right now is to pit the average young or struggling American against the capitalist. Capitalism is under attack, and capitalism has done more to free people on earth and help more people on earth than any structure in the past. Imperfection though it is. And that is why our founding documents are so key. And that is why we, the people, are the biggest three words at the beginning of the Constitution. Because we, the people, are the ones who allow or don't allow this stuff to happen. And they want you to not be engaged. They want you to rely on them. They want you to have to accept a check from them. They want you to not be part of the 1%. No, let's make it the 5%. How about the 10%? Why don't we grow the 1%? How come we don't have a whole bunch of real wealthy people sitting there talking to us? Let's do that. How about that? Oh, wait a second. How do you do that? Oh, you launch a website called Be First in Business. BFIB. BeFirstInBusiness.com. Share it with all your friends. And it's in its infancy stage. We need help. We need advertisers. We need pro-capitalist, pro-Americans involved. We need business leaders. We need politicians. We need everybody pushing towards everybody living the American dream. And that is having less people on welfare, having less people taking WIC, having less people having out-of-wed babies, having less people getting abortions. We need more Americans. We don't need less Americans. We need more Americans of color, more Americans of all backgrounds in this country, because everybody is worth saving and everybody can win. Everybody can. Everybody. And for those who can't, those who are handicapped, those who are sick, those who are weak, those who have something wrong with them that they cannot control, we the people should take care of them. But we the people must look long and hard at those who say, I can't do nothing. Hold on a second. Getting a text. Hello? A lot of people on our welfare system, we have cell phones, nice ones. And they got cable, and they got air conditioning, and they got a car, and they got food, and wow. The new American dream, live it. For a growing number. For the 47%, the Mitt Romney thing, the 47%, and why he apologized. Is he crazy? Is he nuts? Here's what I would have said. Yep. Because math doesn't lie. It doesn't lie. We have a growing number of people who do not pay taxes in this country. Fact. But the fear, well, they won't vote for me. Well, they're not going to vote for you anyway. Was it true or not true? Of course it's true. Because they don't know the truth. They don't know the facts. Because the mainstream media doesn't tell them the truth. Doesn't tell them what's really going on. As MSNBC is viewing them through their viewfinder. They get, wait a second, how do we spin this? What did Mitt say? Mitt said that the 47% are the ones he can't think about right now because they're not going to vote for him anyway. I don't know. As a business person, that's kind of smart. Yeah. Absolutely right. In the same way that if I had a Porsche dealership, I probably wouldn't go, bring a whole bunch of hobos in to try to sell them a car. Got to have the right clientele. So our goal should be to take the hobo. Why is a person a hobo? How come you're on the street? Why do you have a sign? Why are you unemployed? How come you don't have no money? Why is you and your mother and your mother's mother have been on the program? Why? What's happening? What's going on? How come there's a long line of politicians that keep saying, and they have a D after their name, that say, oh, we're going to fix it, we're going to fix it, we're going to fix it, we're going to fix it. At what point, folks, do we realize that the world is upside down? And I'm tired of the blood rushing to my head. This is Craig Bushon. We'll be back. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Craig Bushon Show. I was just saying when we came back to break, we got to get our viewership up. We got to get people engaged. We got to get thousands of people understanding what's going on, what the truth is, what the facts are. Folks, you need to share the information that we're giving you here on Be First in Media on the Craig Bushon Show. Share it with all your friends. Get them engaged. We're talking about America. We're talking about the American dream. We're talking about, fortune. Is it still okay to be rich? Is cash dead? They've got everything to play for. What's true progressivism? Ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is you must understand history. I cannot stomach any longer how many people are not telling the truth on the airways. MSM, mainstream media, is doing a huge injustice. A huge injustice because part of its job is to educate you on what you don't know. To bring you the facts. Like the old newsman used to do. In a short, concise way. Even Howard Cosell had a great relationship with Muhammad Ali. And he could have a fun, some would call racial, discourse, and yet they would part as friends. Because they knew, we knew, by their actions with each other, that they were really friends. And they actually helped bridge a lot of gaps in racial tension. Some would say Archie Bunker did that. Some would say the Jeffersons did that. Some would say the Huxtables did that. Some would say the Brady Bunch brought in, here's another interconnected, it wasn't divorce, it was death that brought those two families together. But it was showing people how they can blend. 3 guys, 3 girls, there's a story. Yeah. The Partridge Family. What's happening? Television has done some great things. But it's not the best place to get your information about what's going to help fix this country, and best place for you to get your statistics and to get your facts and to get to know what's really going on in this country. See, I suspect a lot of people at the vice presidential debate that happened just the other day, a lot of you are just upset because Joe Biden looked like a laughing hyena, and it wasn't really about what he said, other than, listen, my friend over here, and that's my friend, my friend, and then my friend, and how disrespectful that was, but not disliking him because of what he's saying, how it's a lie. We didn't know that they needed assistance. We didn't know that there wasn't a mob outside. We didn't know. We thought it was the video. We didn't know that our delegate, excuse me. We didn't know. Folks, if they didn't know, it's one of the scariest things you could think about. Because why wouldn't you know? When you can look on a satellite in real time and look at what's going on. Okay? So don't tell me you didn't know. And don't tell us it's a video. Tell us the truth. But can you handle the truth? Media, facts, telling the truth. What can you handle? So interesting. I talked a little bit earlier about the parachutists. I was watching it in real time on a particular website that was showing it. And they all the way up to right before he jumped out. Right before he jumped out, it was in real time. But then all of a sudden he's about to jump out and boom, it's 5 minutes earlier. Huh? What happened? He's just about to jump out. Oh, it's for my protection. Oh, in case something happens that's bad. Oh, in case maybe the parachute didn't open or maybe something tragic happened. Then I wouldn't have to watch it. Oh, the delay. See, the delay, to me, in media, works against us a lot when it's misused. See, if something happens, I want to see it. I want to know it in real time. Matter of fact, you can't even we're supposed to now worry that your kids are going to watch it, and then your kids can't handle it. You know what your kids can handle? Your kids can handle blowing the heads off of bodies on video games that are so graphic now that and play it 6, 8, 10 hours a day, or play it when you're at work, because you both have to work now, unless you're on the welfare program, but then it doesn't matter either, because then you could be doing other stuff because you don't have to worry about going to work. So, but your kids still have the game players because, but anyway, got to worry about the kids and how they feel. I mean, our kids are tougher than you think. But see, how we filter things and what we get told is for our own good. Well, also probably wouldn't look good for Red Bull. I mean, it would have redefined red wings, if you know what I'm talking about. The bull wings. That probably came out wrong, didn't it? Use your imagination, folks. But the fact is, it's all about censorship. It's all about not getting the facts. Here's the great thing about where we're broadcasting now, the future, and how we set the rules up for the internet are big. Because there's no FCC here. FCC is everywhere else. It's not here. There's still laws here. I mean, there's copyright laws. There's lots of other stuff that still exists. I don't need SOPA, PIPA, and ACTA to enforce the laws that are already there. They're already there. And for those people that are out there making a mistake, and it's an honest mistake, well, then you fix it. For those that are out there that are doing it on purpose to be corruptive, you go after them. I don't need no more laws. Laws are already there. The bottom line for everything that we have to deal with, folks, is that we get the right information. We get the facts. And right now, this is the biggest election. I know we hear it all the time. It's the biggest election ever. It's the largest election in the history of all mankind. Well, maybe it is each time. I don't know. Because you can make the argument, the decisions we make today will be our life tomorrow. What we do today will be our life tomorrow. So if I sit back and I eat 3 Big Macs and 2 large orders of fries, I don't get up and do anything, well, tomorrow I'm going to be heavier. I can predict that. That's like pretty easy. If I don't invest in my military and I don't, punch back and go on the offense and get people before they get us, then tomorrow's not going to look too good. If I go to vote for the president and I don't really know the facts, and if I watch a debate and I don't even know what they're talking about, and the biggest reason that I'm not going to vote for one or the other is because of how they said something, that's dangerous, because that's theater. Because a lot of people are voting on theater. A lot of people are voting on what they feel sounds, whether it was rude or not. Not on the content of their character and what they're saying. I just didn't like the way he spoke. He was so rude. I was listening to some other talk radio shows. They're going, this lady's calling in, and I love women. I do. I've said it, and I'm on record that women are the answer to the problems in the world. But a lot of them calling, well, I didn't like it. I just hated it. He was so rude. I had a boss like that, and I hated him, and I just not got to vote for him because he's just condescending. Huh? If he was condescending and everything he was saying was right, so what? We have to know why we're not voting for people other than what they look like or what they sounded like, and more about what they said. The art of the delivery is a very important thing in selling. Okay? That right there. They don't do that. See, that's what it used to be right there, right here. Now it's that. It's a little softer approach. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I did not lie. That's too hard. I did not. It depends on the definition of is. Are you kidding me? Go back, folks. Don't let them keep dragging you into the next fight. Don't let them keep dragging you into the survival mode right now. Go back to what? Listen, we have a huge economic problem in this country, folks. Just to recap what we've talked about here, a few minutes left in the show. We talked about some of the biggest challenges we have to face in this country are the economic side, our military side, our youth that's getting involved, the Y generation, who are they going to vote for, why, the independent party, who are they? Are they really a party? Can we truly see a third party coming? Does it need to come? Is it the old three-legged stool? I mean, why is the three-legged stool there? Can't make it a very good stool with two legs. Got to have at least three. I mean, works well, three alternative choices in sales. I mean, a lot of things have to, with three strikes you're out. I don't know, a lot of good things with three. But not if you have a party system. Now, in other parts of the country, or other parts of the world, Mexico, they have like tons of parties that run, and it can be confusing. And other parts of the world have that. I get that. So we've been talking about these issues, talking about what's been going on, talking about the facts. And you can talk about all the things, the cost of fuel, and what's a dollar worth. What is Fortune magazine saying? And it's pretty thick, too. A lot of advertising. Your dollar, what's it worth? 50% less, if not more. Gas, twice as much money as it was before. So how much is your money worth every time you go buy gas? Half. How much is milk? $3 a gallon? $2.89? Are you excited if you find it for $2.39? Are you excited when your grocery store has a little cash card that if you pre-buy it, gives you 12 cents off? So maybe, I think the other day I paid $3.27. Wow. So great. Who really, cares about the people of color? Who really cares about the people who have less? The people who keep giving them less of more or more of less? That's confusing. People who are on welfare who have less because they're the poorest are getting more while having less. Think about that for a moment. Or do you teach people Your Name Inc.? Teach people Your Name Inc. in the United States of America Incorporated. Teach people to be business people. Teach them to understand. Teach them to be part of the 1%. And it shouldn't be 1%. It should be 3%. It should be 5%. Listen, they'll always be the richest. They'll always be there. That's the way math works. It's math. I think the president said that. It's simple arithmetic. It's math. Yeah, here's real math. When the vice president said on the debate the other night that, we had tax cuts for all the middle class, we had tax cuts here, tax cuts there, you could give me all the malarkey about tax cuts you want. You can't even come close to the cost of living that's raised up. How about Obamacare? Well, Obamacare is helping so many people, an additional $3,000 or $4,000 or $2,000 or $5,000, whatever the number is. How about this? Why don't you have a good energy policy and reduce energy costs down so my utility bill is 50% less than what it is now, and my gas should be $1.20 a gallon. Folks, we own the energy in this country. A tremendous amount of it. Well, the private sector owns 100% of what the private sector owns. Well, minus the government takes, I think, 25%. And then we, the people, who is the government, own the rest. And we allow our energy costs to be so high because we believe in some fictitious global warming. Or we believe in the rest of the world is mad at us because we use so much energy. Folks, you want to have money to pay for your health care? You want to have money to retire on? Quit getting ripped off. Quit getting ripped off by all these mandates that we're having to go by all the laws that we have to go by small businesses having to absorb here, absorb there, have to get a permit here, a permit there. The cost of doing business in this country, what was we, a 35% corporate tax? They want to raise that up. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, right. No. You want to be able to pay for stuff? Drive your things down in price that you have to have every day, your staple items, gas, water, any type of fuel, whether it's natural gas, coal, heating oil, bread, milk. Drive the prices down. It's strange. Capitalism, how it works, how companies find a way. McDonald's still has 99-cent burgers and double burgers with a tomato and a fry, with tomatoes and 99 cents. I'm not saying it's healthy for you, but I see lines wrapped around the building. It's because they know you don't have money. They know it, and they're supplying the demand. You got to feed your family, so you're going to load up with a whole bunch of dollar cheeseburgers. Double cheeseburgers at that, at 440 calories a piece. Then some French fries you can get for $1. That's what you're going to do. And you're going to get the red dyed, what do they call that? Red, what is it? Come on. Big red something, diet, not diet drink, but high fructose corn syrups and Sunny Delights. And I don't know, I could go on and on and on. Because the poor people out there, yeah, guess what? You could survive. You're going to survive unhealthy. And then guess what happens? Healthcare costs go even up higher. Because why? Because you're unhealthy. Oh, we didn't even get to it here. Well, let's see what we got here. You know, I'm going to make a point here. There's something else you need to know about. Okay, if you go to Facebook, I think I posted it today. Hey, if you go to the Craig Bushon Facebook, and you'll see there, I got several thousand people. Thank you so much for becoming friends. Please go like the Craig Bushon Show, like Be First in Media, like Be First in Business. But I posted something here. Where is it at? Has to do with people, stars of today, not caring about their weight. Oh, it's on the Craig Bushon Show Facebook. Let me go to that right now. What does it say here? It says that women on TV step off the scale. Well, of course, because a growing number of you don't have enough money to buy healthy food because only rich people get to eat healthy. You know, everyone could eat healthy if you take the mandates off of the farmers and allow them to do what farmers do best, and that's farm. Let's see, this is from the New York Times. On her new show, The Mindy Project, Mindy Kaling plays a single doctor who is irked but not undone by a male colleague telling her she should lose 15 pounds. Neither is Hannah, the character Lena Dunham plays on her HBO comedy Girls. When a boyfriend asked her about her tummy flab, Hannah replied, "No, I've not tried to lose weight because I decided I was going to have some other concerns in my life." On the MTV show Awkward, it's the high school bully, Sadie, played by Molly Tarlov, who is a little overweight, not her victims. Not her victims, and her overdupious doesn't diminish Sadie's power of confidence. Self-acceptance has become a new form of defiance on television, especially among younger female comedians. Partly that's because it's refreshingly unusual. There's a little comic shock value left in profanity, obscenity, or intolerance. But it's still quite rare and surprising to see a woman not obsess about her waistline. And gain weight, it turns out, is the most outrageous stunt Lady Gaga has pulled off to date. Instead of wearing raw animal flesh as a public event this summer, she wore her own, the one metamorphosis that even Madonna wouldn't dare undertake. Quote, "I'm not going to go on a psycho spree because of scrutiny," the singer stated after admitting she gained 25 pounds. "This is who I am, and I'm proud of it at any size." Interesting. Wow. Article goes on to say, Lady Gaga isn't the first to fill out. If anything, she is a follower in the sudden rise of the unapologetically non-thin. New performers have flouted convention by flaunting a curvy figure, notably Kat Dennings, a star of Two Broke Girls, Christina Hendricks of Mad Men, and Christina Aguilera on The Voice. But it's most evident in female comedians like Miss Dunham and Miss Kaling. She have more power to break rules by writing their own material and creating shows inspired by their lives. Well, here's what I think. Being overweight is not healthy if you're way overweight. The definition is, what's overweight? See, here, I'm going to say something unpolitical. Or I should say, not politically correct. And I'm going to say this the way that I believe it. See, God made roses and he made weeds, right? How many times did you see a dented, rusted old car that you said, hey, I'd like to have that? How many times have you said, oh, it's a nice Porsche or Lexus, or the new Volkswagens are nice too, by the way, and Hyundai, the Genesis, that's also nice too. How often do you wash your car? How often do you vacuum your floor? How often do you look at a beautiful painting and go, that's beautiful? See, what we need to do is get rid of the word beautiful. What we've got to do is get rid of the things that say that something's different than another thing. What we've got to quit doing is being human. See, why is it that pornography is such a big deal? Because people like to see things that are beautiful and sometimes disgustingly beautiful. But if you took a rose and you took a weed and you put them side by side, which one do you buy in the store? I'd like to see that. I'd like to try that sometime. You just go to the florist and have just a whole bunch of weeds in there and you tie it up and say, hey, it's Valentine's Day. It's time to bring the weeds to your significant other. How do you think that would go? I think it would go pretty bad. Hey, if you took your wife's brand new car, or your girlfriend, or your boyfriend's, or your dad's, and you took it out for a drive and you backed it into a light pole, and you brought it home, would they be happy that it was broken and dented? Why would they care if it's dented? Why does someone actually care if paint shines? Why do young children by themselves with no coaxing of their own, of anybody else, look at somebody who's obese and go, what's wrong with that picture? It's just like ugly people. They do exist. Ugly people exist. Redheads exist. Make no mistake, I have had many a ridiculing because of my red hair. I had been in many a fights because of my red hair. I have been in many, many situations that if I didn't have red hair, that could have gone a lot better, especially when I was a kid in school. Now I hear it's kind of a cool thing. Well, I guess it does matter when you're born sometimes. But if you get beyond the unhealthiness of being overweight, because there are some heavy people who don't have diabetes. Okay? But there are some that don't have any problems at all. Some. But I don't know many 95-year-olds that are way overweight. Just like I don't know any 80-year-olds that are way overweight. Not many. I don't know many 80-year-old drug addicts. I don't know many 80-year-old alcoholics. There aren't that many 80-year-old convicts because the lifestyle just does not allow longevity. See, it is human nature to love things that are beautiful. God gave us the ability to see things and to smell things. If you smell a rose and you put it up, isn't part of what it smells like define what it looks like? And if you couldn't see, would you not know that it's something sweet when you smelled it? How come when somebody stinks, is that the next thing? You don't have to bathe? Who are you to define how I smell? Who are you to define that what's sanitary and unsanitary? At what point are we allowed to judge people and tell people what's right and what's wrong? I mean, we tend to do it everywhere else. You got to pay your taxes. You got to pay your bills. Can't argue with a police officer. Not too much. You can't a lot of things when it comes to dealing with the government stuff. But when it comes to the human element side, it's the other side that we can't do much. Now, I'm not saying that I think part of the problem is we defend ourselves so much by delaying video feeds and not allowing us to see the facts, the truth, that we're making a hypersensitive culture, a hypersensitive society that can't take bullying, they don't know how to react to it because it doesn't exist. It was like when Ahmadinejad said, I think it was in Colombia, and he said, well, there's no homosexuals in Iran. And people started to laugh. And he asked, well, where are they? Can you tell me where they're at? Oh, yeah, he wants to know because he's going to go kill them. Part of being free is, of course, to be free in who you want to be. And if you want to be 500, 600, 700, 1,000 pounds, God bless you, and that's something you should be allowed to do. But is it a culture thing? Where we're supposed to, stars are now making, I'm going to be 25 pounds overweight because I just want to be me. No, it's probably because you're lazy. Okay? Most people who don't get a job are lazy. Not all. Most people that are way overweight don't move more than they take in. It's garbage in, garbage out. It's calories in, it's calories out. Is that hateful to say that? No, because I myself have lost 15 pounds. I saw myself not doing what? Eating too much, moving too little. Now, if there's a medical issue, go back to what I said earlier in the broadcast about taking care of people who can't fix what's wrong because there's something wrong that they can't fix on their own. I just thought I'd be talking about this for 2 minutes. But it's a lot deeper when you think about it. Freedom is about being able to do what you want when you want. But the bottom line is, if it affects other people, then that's where rules come in. That's why we have judges. Judges are not there to defend you from you. They're there to defend you from other people. And if these people on here, if Mindy's Project and Awkward and the comedy show and HBO Girls want to promote people being overweight, that's fine. But really ask how people feel, how they really feel on the inside. Most people, whether time something's done in excessive, if it's overdone, if there's you could drink too much water and it can kill you, right? Does that mean water's bad? No. Anytime something's done in excessive, it's usually because somebody's trying to medicate themselves. See, that's why I'm not a fan of having a lot of people who are drug addicts in jail. A lot of them are medicating themselves because of something else. We have to look at why people are doing things in a different way. But let's not get beyond the truth and the facts. Human nature is to love things beautiful, and to love things that smell nice, and to love things that, it's so funny. The same people that will tell you that you can't judge a person by the way they look, and you can't, tell them the way you really feel. But that same person, if you scratch their BMW, they'll be pretty pissed off because the perfection is now gone. In a land of Hollywood that says everything, everyone, kumbaya, has more facelifts and liposuction than any place. It's hypocrisy. Because human nature is to love things that are beautiful. In the same way that you hold your weed eater and you mow it down is the same way that, unfortunately, human nature is in lots of things. We have to be mindful and be nice to people and not be rude to people because they're different. But we must not deny why people like things that are pretty more than things that are not. That is human nature. And all I ask is that people take a reasonable mindset to how they approach all of these scenarios, because it all interconnects. It goes back to the laughing hyena with Joe Biden, our vice president, and how we judge the way he looked, the way he acted. What about what he's saying? We have to learn to multitask when we make a decision. My job is to throw things out. My job is to get things back on you, to make you think about them. My job is to challenge you to think about the hard things. My job is to challenge myself to constantly hone my skills. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the first live broadcast on Be First in Media. Always know to go to BeFirstInMedia.com. If you found this up on YouTube, BeFirstInMedia.com is the place to go. Be First in Business is for all the pro-capitalist, pro-America-made product companies. A place for people who are pro-building and driving unemployment down, getting more Americans back to work. You want to go to Be First in Business. Check it out. And I want to thank you so much. I want to thank Gabe for all of his production today. And tune in to the Common Man Show every Saturday. And this is Craig Bushon. We'll see you soon.